Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Look, if you're looking for the easiest payday loan that you can get more likely in the same day, okay, with no credit check and working with people with bad credit, I'm going to tell you some of the best ones. Now, here's the thing about it. In order to qualify for these loans, you have to have income. You have to have an active checking account, okay? You cannot be in a recent bankruptcy. Okay, I've just had a guy, and I know he was lying. He said that he had a 720 something score and he couldn't get a basic loan. I know he's lying, okay, because either that 700 is not real or he doesn't have the income, okay, and he's maybe going to the wrong institutions. All right. So when people try to call me out on this, look, I've been doing this for a long time and I have clients I talk to every day, people that have success. OK, so when somebody said, well, I have a 700 and I can't get anything without me actually seeing the credit file, I don't know. But there's something wrong. If you got a 700 and you can't get a loan, there's something else you're not telling the community, okay? You're not telling our community. So you're not being truthful or you're not being transparent, okay? That being said, again, the criteria, all right, because there's 4 places that you should be able to get a loan with no credit check and bad credit as that, all right? But one thing, again, the income. Usually I tell you in reference to the income, all right, minimum income is usually from $500 up to $1,000 monthly, okay? That's what some of these lenders, they want you to have. Some of them may want you to have $1,250 or $1,500, and I'm going to tell you about those lenders as well. But that income and that active checking account, okay? And remember, I continue to tell you, and I cannot stress this enough, is that the lenders, if they're not doing a hard pull on the credit where there's an inquiry, they're using third-party credit bureaus. So you may have recently moved and you have not updated your information with the third-party credit bureaus like LexisNexis. You may have Clarity, which is owned by Experian. You may have DataX and IntelliTrack, which is owned by Equifax. You may have Factor Trust, which is owned by TransUnion. So in terms of when you say, well, I can't get anything with a 700 credit score, I don't have enough information to tell you anything. That's the reason I tell you have to schedule a call. All right. That being said, some of the places that I would tell you to go to, like I said, there's tribal lenders, there's banks, there's credit unions, and there's fintechs. Okay. So you have 4 resources where you can actually get a loan. Actually, there's 5 because some of you all may be working on your job. Okay. And you can file a W-4 form. And that way you can actually become tax exempt for 3 to 4 months. And that's an interest-free loan. Okay. So that's 5 places where you can actually get a loan. And like I said, the filing your W-4 form, that's an interest-free loan. It just takes maybe 1 or 2 pay periods to kick in, but that's bringing more money home. All right. That being said, you have places like Opportune. Why Opportune? Because it's a CDFI. All right, 300 to 10,000. You don't even have to have a social security number. Minimum income is at least $500 monthly. Minimum income after taxes. Okay. So don't tell me that you're getting turned down. There's something wrong that's saying that, okay, I got a 700, but you can't get a loan from none of these places. It doesn't make any sense. All right. So then what about you guys that are entrepreneurs? Okay, you have bad credit. Where do you go to? I told you about Giggle Finance that gives you up to $5,000. All you have to do is have 3 to 4 deposits into your checking account. And it doesn't have to be a business checking account. They just need to show proof that you have deposits going in. Minimum income is about $1,500. You have to be in the gig economy for at least 90 days. Okay? So also the geo, all right, where you're geographically located. Some of these here lenders may not be servicing all 50 states as well, okay? So that's another thing you have to take into consideration. Then you have Lendeska. Lendeska gives up to $20,000. No hard pull on the credit. Minimum credit scores of 550. Annual income that they look for is $25,000 annually. And this is for people that are in the gig economy. So if you're making money and you have at least 3 to 4 deposits and stuff, this may be another option. Here's a credit union that people probably heard of but never thought about looking at. It's called the Police Credit Union. All right, they're out in California. Now, why this credit union? Because if you are a security guard, they would actually give you a $5,000 loan. If you like, it's a police one. So like if you're a cadet or anything, but even a security guard can get up to $5,000, okay, with bad credit from that credit union. So that's what I'm saying. There are places. So when I'm telling you these places, it's not I'm just thinking about it. I'm actually telling you these places. You have another CDFI. You have People's Trust Loans. They go up to $10,000. Plus, they offer small business loans as well. It's a CDFI. Okay? And they work with people with bad credit. Then you have checking the cash, all right? So with checking the cash, many of you all heard me talk about them. They have $5,000 on installment loan, plus they give a line of credit. So they give a line of credit, I think it's $4,500. And I always tell you, if an institution is offering the line of credit versus the loan, then go for the line of credit because they only charge you interest on what you actually use, okay? So that's the reason what you pay back, you still have access to. So that's the reason why I tell you to do that. So moving on, you also have Mariner Finance. I made a video on it. They go up to $25,000. And by the way, guys, please understand that when you're going to these type of lenders and stuff, yes, the interest rates is going to be high. If you have bad credit, and you don't want no hard pull on the credit, then you can expect it's going to be interest rates is going to be a little higher. All right. So just keep that in mind. You have Avant. Avant goes up to $35,000. Minimum credit score is a 580. Okay. So there's plenty of lenders out here. You have Net Pay Advance. They offer gig loans as well as little small loans and stuff like that. All right. But again, keep in mind that some of these lenders are not in all 50 states. That's the thing about it. And also, if you recently moved, since they're going to be using these third-party credit bureaus, they have these old, outdated information, especially the address. So when they have this outdated information and you putting one address on the application that does not match their system, then you look like fraud. They look at this as something's wrong. Okay? Now, I always tell you when you need your light, rent, and stuff like that paid, I told you to go to findhelp.org. Go to findhelp.org. Put in your zip code, and they'll tell you all the charitable places in your community where you can get help. The Catholic churches and stuff will help you pay your bills and stuff like that. Salvation Army, they help with transportation and stuff. So there are places and resources to help you guys. So don't think that the information I'm just taking it and throwing it. No, I actually researched this stuff. I'm sending emails, I'm asking questions and stuff like that because I'm trying to help the community. So it's not that I'm just saying, oh, yeah, it is. No, that's the reason how I know about the third-party credit bureau, because I'm actually researching it. Look at these other videos. If they're telling you something, I promise you, they're more likely not going to talk about the third-party credit bureaus because that ain't what they do. They're just telling you stuff without actually giving you information that's valid enough to where you can make a sound decision. That's the reason I tell you this stuff. So for you guys that need help with personal credit funding, business credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.